are y'all doing today, my ladies? On this beautiful, beautiful Monday it is. Are we good? Are we chilling? I'm not a lady, I'm a man. CPH Mania on the stream says, here we go again with some new cancer if it's okay, man. A quick meme from yesterday's stream, and it's CPH Mania, not Captain Mania. Yeah, I said CPH Mania because I have 140 IQ plus photographic memory. Alright, I remember.
Welcome to Uganda.
Who made this? Okay. Oh, I have a key.
Welcome to Uganda.
Golden key, golden key, golden key, golden house key, golden key, house key, house, golden key, gramophone, golden key, gramophone, golden house key, golden key, gramophone, golden key, gramophone, gold gramophone, tone arm.
DJ Forsen, proudly present.
Golden key, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden house, golden key, house key, house gramophone, golden key, gramophone, gramophone, house key, house gramophone, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden house, golden key, house key, house gramophone, golden key, gramophone, house key, house gramophone, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden house, golden key, house key, house gramophone, golden key, golden key, gramophone, house key, house gramophone, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden key.
Sound is actually better than that.
House key, house gramophone, golden key, golden key, gramophone, house key, house gramophone, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden key, golden house, golden key, house key, house gramophone, golden key, golden key, gramophone, house key, house gramophone.
It's a fake.
Golden legendary. Golden legendary. Golden legendary. Golden legendary.
Better than that SoundCloud rapper yesterday.
Well met.
It's all obvious.
As we can.
Oh, I don't know. I fucked up the volume levels here. Alright, how is this in comparison right now? How is this in comparison to the mic? Because my headset is different. It's good. Everything at once. No, I was saying that I saw the video about Counter-Strike. Apparently it's good, and I got a link to me yesterday, but it was too long yesterday. Because we already had some links, and it was too long. So we can check it out today. Your volume levels. Ah shit. Your volume levels are. Would you please stop spamming? My laptop gets really hot. Can't read. You. Okay, stop. Everyone, shh. Your volume levels are fine, but your mic is facing the cam, and if you move slightly to the left, you're outside of its cone. And your volume drops 80%. Alright, so what if I do...
Here is a song to make up for yesterday's Clown
Is that
Fiesta
better?
video. Pepe laugh. Let us not make that mistake again. Pepe laugh. Was a good
Alright.
laugh though. Forsen scoot.
Hold your horses, man. Hold the fucking horses. Short video for you to enjoy on your free time, Pog.
Down there, life.
On my free time, it's a 1.5 hour. I guess that's the joke. Journey through the universe, HD
Traffic is awful.
documentary.
Stocks go on trading, and Star Trek is still showing.
I don't think I'm gonna watch this in my free time, but there's so many of these videos where they just like go through space and then they see different things. I've seen these enough, man. Wait. I don't know what the fuck you just did, but you activated some demon filter. What? Hello, testing? What? Hello, testing? Oh shit, what the fuck?
Welcome to Uganda.
Demon filter is never good. Alright. How is this?
Welcome to Uganda.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Uganda.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Shit, my voice is so deep. I mean, my voice is already fairly, but... Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Check cable, I just did, dude. I can't do more than try and plug in this side. I can't do more than try and plug in this side. What did I do? I just moved this. Okay, I moved it back. Now what? What did I do? I just moved this. Okay, I moved it back. Now what? What did I do? I just moved this. Okay, I moved it back. Now what? What did I do? Don't make me go on my desk microphone. Don't make me go on my desk microphone. Don't make me go on my desk microphone. Hello? 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 Alright, I'll be right back. Which one is it? Which one is it? I don't know which one it is. Is it this one? It's this one. Alright, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Alright, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. God damn it. God fucking damn it. God damn it. Hello? God fucking damn it. God damn it. Hello? God fucking damn it. Now what? Hello? God fucking damn it. Now what? Alright.
Welcome to Uganda.
Alright. Hello? Hello? This is so stupid, man. This is so stupid, man. It's like like 50-50. It's so stupid, man. It's like like 50-50. Why is life so hard? Why is life so hard? Play CS with the source. Play CS with the source. Alright. Is it consistent? I feel like it's breaking out. Alright. Is it consistent? I feel like it's breaking out. It's like it stopped working and stuff, right? It's like it stopped working. Yeah, it is. Right? Alright, I'm plugging this out. I hope it doesn't stop. It stopped working. Yeah, it is. Alright, I'm plugging this out. I hope it doesn't stop. It stopped working. Yeah. Hello. Oh, now I don't have normal sound, so I can't hear anything. Desktop audio. There we go. Engineer. Literally. Nice. White. Someone said white noise. Oh, wait. Hang on. I got this. Everyone relax. I think I'm an engineer. 1 second. Am I though? Maybe I'm not. Hang on. Okay. Now. How is this? Okay. Now. How is this? Okay. Now. How is this? Okay. Now. I don't hear any buzzing. Now. How is this? Okay. Spore Donaldson says, "Hey Forsen, have you ever played Spore? Didn't you ask me this yesterday?" And I said, "No." Someone did ask this. Is it buzz? I hate this. Cause I don't know if you Is it actually? I think it's gone and you're imagining things.
Welcome to Uganda. Welcome to Uganda.
Alright, I'm doing this now. Alright, I'm doing this. Is the buzzing fixed now? Fixed now? Fixed now? You know what? You're grown up. You're grown men. We're just gonna have to deal with it, alright? It's because I'm not playing anything, any sounds or anything, so yeah, that's fine. It's fine for now. Alright.
Welcome to Uganda.
Let's see if this one is interesting. Apparently it's a good one.
Welcome to Uganda.
If you want to get good, you have to sacrifice.
Right in his face, doesn't hit the no-scope, doesn't hit the pistol! Oh, what? Jumping double for Cole!
People are starting to remember CSGO as I remember 1.6.
Boy, you serious? This is not FPL, this is a major!
CSGO felt like the last hope for Counter-Strike in many ways.
Oh, this is huge! Doji's throwing a nade into the corner just as the
Oh my god, now I know what you were talking about. This happened to me yesterday and I didn't understand what the fuck happened because I thought, you're safe here. You're absolutely safe here. And I was actually sitting right, like I was actually being exactly like this. And then I died and I was like, I thought you were safe here. Apparently someone fucking threw a grenade and you guys started
gonna go down!
The diffuse is coming in.
So that's who you were talking about.
Now look at the little dance of happiness.
And for the first time in history, the best of all fucking time!
For the second time, Pronex with one fragment. Oh my god! Docs as they cross the middle, it's going to be a challenge and Apex.
They're gonna find this 7 seconds in front of us! They're trying to build pyramids, but Counter-Strike!
Colorblind. The video is loud.
In order to tell the story of CSGO, to understand what it is, what it was, and what it will be, we need to go back in time. In the beginning, back in 1999, there was the original Counter-Strike, and it was good.
Not getting a frag when he needs to. Oh,
So close.
1 HP!
Well,
Wow!
Palm. I remember.
Oh my god! What a clutch round!
HP remaining.
Gets the first one, gets the second one, gets the third one. 2 versus 1! Oh, amazing from Zonic. That's 4 from Zonic. 1 more remaining. And he's gonna peek out and he is gonna win it! What an absolutely amazing round from Zonic.
By the early to mid-2000s, CS had gone from an experiment conducted by a couple of college kids to an official Valve property, and one of the first truly global esports.
The key for Counter-Strike for me is very early on it became like kind of a global game. It was one of the first esport that wasn't just like a few countries are really into it or just one region's into it. It's like nearly the whole world to some degree was interested in Counter-Strike.
The game was viciously fast-paced but painstakingly strategic.
Like XQC.
Endlessly viciously fast-paced but painstaking.
In Counter-Strike.
The game was viciously
world to some degree was interested.
Right?
In Counter-Strike.
The game was viciously fast-paced but painstakingly strategic. Endlessly sophisticated, yet simple enough for a 10-year-old to understand. It wasn't convoluted or inaccessible. It just had a skill ceiling so high that only a handful of humans could hit it.
No one hit the skill ceiling. The skill ceiling is literally wall hack and aimbot.
It wasn't until the advent of 1.6 in 2003 that Counter-Strike started catching sight of its only real problem. It was too good, so much so that all of Valve's attempts to iterate on it seemed doomed from the start. First, there was the Xbox release. Unfortunately, by this point, the console generation had already begun to take shape, and Valve's controller-oriented Counter-Strike was eclipsed by burgeoning titles like Halo and Call of Duty.
What do you mean? I played with controller people
Valve
yesterday.
oversaw the release of Condition Zero, a retexturized version of 1.6 that underwent a series of setbacks, delays, and reworks on account of its third-party developers. But the annoyances around Condition Zero were short-lived, since 8 months after its release, Valve published what was both CS's first true successor and its most controversial one, Source.
It did have some issues at launch, I don't think there's any doubt about that, which did turn a lot of people off, because obviously if you've got an existing game that's been out for years and it's great and everything works perfectly fine because it's been tweaked, and then you've got something new and it doesn't quite work, obviously you're gonna stick to the one that you know and stick to the one that you feel is complete.
The criticism laid against Source was simple. It didn't feel like Counter-Strike. Valve did implement a wide array of changes, mostly intended to improve quality of life, but a lot of old-school 1.6ers thought they lowered the skill ceiling.
For me, what I believe is that most people kind of didn't get the same feeling from Source at 1.6, kind of more like The Lost Brother, or like it felt plastic, wasn't as good, and
Source player,
it's
right?
like the way, the feel of the game when playing and shooting, like everything just felt off with that game.
The result was a divide, a battle between Source apologists and diehards who refused to abandon the old ways. For 8 years, the Counter-Strike community had to endure a civil war, until finally, in 2012,
one game to unite them all.
But before you're leaving, somebody told me, if you have got Gabe, can you ask him only one question? And I believe many of them wants to know. When are you going to release Counter-Strike 2?
Oh, that was before CSGO. That question.
Welcome to Uganda.
Nah. Doesn't have enough time.
After After ignoring their prized FPS for nearly a decade, Valve finally decided to bless the community with a full-fledged Counter-Strike title, a place for Source lovers and 1.6ers alike to take up arms and usher their game into the next generation.
CSGO felt like the last hope for Counter-Strike in many ways.
And as soon as it launched, the consensus surrounding Counter-Strike Global Offensive was clear. It fucking sucked.
It was absolute dog shit from memory. It was really, really bad. I remember complaining about I remember people complaining about Molotovs, the recoil control. Everything was just different and everyone was very against it.
I don't think I liked it because you're getting so used to the game you were playing before, and then you have to start on something new and the game isn't fully evolved and stuff like that. So you know there's coming more updates, but still you're just like, what the hell is this?
CSGO was imbalanced, riddled with bugs, and had extremely wonky mechanics. What's more, the game was essentially a combination of 1.6 and Source, leaving a large majority of both player bases dissatisfied.
My first impression was terrible, to be honest. First of all, I was really frustrated because, as I said, my career on CS Source was just starting, so I didn't know what to expect, pretty much. Before the first tournament I played, which was Drag Valencia, the day before in practice I was terrible. My manager was better than me.
The Molotovs were so overpowered. I think they slowed you down when you walk through them, and they gave more damage than they do now or something like that, and you couldn't distinguish them, but there was so many game-breaking bugs.
People literally predicted that it would kill Counter-Strike.
It's a little bit hyperbole, but it's like a way to sort of say like that they had gone into the other direction basically, where it's like, it's too much, you know. That to me signals, oh no, like...
What update was the POG update?
CSGO had been dropped by IEM.
Though.
No major tournaments were running it because the SWC was dropping off a cliff at that point in time. Essentially, it was a second-tier game.
But there was one team that saw CSGO for what it could be, a generational battleground, the one true successor to Counter-Strike and one of the world's next big esports. The team was Ninjas in Pajamas, a Swedish super squad who brought together the best of the best from both 1.6 and Source in an effort to take the CSGO scene by storm. And they did.
Hopefully Getaway will do something here with the back seven. 1, 2, 3 frags for Getaway. Maybe even a fourth here with the back seven. I don't believe my own eyes. Will we have another shotgun ace here in North North? Very low in HP, but it's just in kept remaining. We'll get this. Oh, he got the ace! Oh my god!
So in CS's early days, you essentially had Nip, who was made for the game. Freiburg was the entry frag, the Flaren was the opper, Exist was the in-game leader, and Forrest and Get Right were the 2 star players which completely rolled over everyone. With these 5 ingredients, you had the team that went 87-0. Now that's a record that still stands to this day, and it just shows like how dominant they were in the early days of CSGO.
Sick and tired of watching NIP win everything in sight, other rosters started to follow suit. In addition to the fact that NIP had lit a fire under the ass of competitive CSGO, the game had improved significantly in the months following its release.
The game was improving very quickly in fact, much quicker than normally you would expect.
Couple this with the announcement of the game's first ever major in late 2013, and it was finally starting to feel as if Valve actually cared about Counter-Strike.
So when the DreamHack winner tournament was announced for CSGO in 2013, it almost felt like a validation of the CSGO scene and the CSGO competitive scene specifically. But this would only be the first step of what we would get in the future.
NIP's first real challenger came in the form of French powerhouse Very Games. But soon, another Swedish terror rolled around, and they were good enough to surpass NIP.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This Forrest alone in a 1-on-3. I think we just might be ready for it. Forrest picks up the 1 kill, but he has a scout. I mean, it's a 1-on-2. All Snyder and JD, all they have to do is just wait and buy time. And there it is. They win it, and look at the even Khan jumping up. One of the most composed people, I think, in Counter-Strike. Complete celebration. What a victory, and how they deserve it.
By 2014, CSGO had blossomed into everything the community had hoped for. It had become a full-fledged esport. France, Poland, and both of Sweden's best squads had each secured a major title, and the game had amassed a repertoire of mythological moments.
Nice, around the world we go, but the defuse is coming in. He's still going. Oh, just about gets it as the flames come in, and look at the little dance of happiness. That is how to control your nerves in a situation. Dancing out.
gamer though. Do they have a weird boost going on currently? Yes,
Look
all
at
of my
this
stuff.
boost.
Oh my god.
This is beautiful.
Coming out of Squeak Door as well. He's here. He sees them down there. Straight headshot. They have no idea. Smith's looking confused and dazed, and there's going to be a follow-up headshot. Oh my stuff. You've got to be kidding me. Takes down Hiroshima as well.
Fnatic last time, the retake didn't work this time. They're feeling more solid. Gerard coming up from behind, but he's
I
also
was
alone
thinking
in a
about this
1-on-2. Throws out
before.
another grenade here. Gets up
Before we saw
another
the
kill.
Riot thing,
Is
right?
it
But I never
happening
mentioned
again?
anything because
Pronax
Die
is alone.
Hard,
That bomb is in the middle
Counter-Strike
of
has to
nowhere.
be
He's
Die
going to have to
Hard.
sit down. The he goes down. Gerard touches it. It happens again.
Do you think the Counter-Strike would be even better with subtle talents?
And here it comes, 2 on 5, JW and Flusher. There is nothing they can do any longer.
It makes,
NIP
like,
have won.
it makes them have more roles,
2014,
like more
ladies and gentlemen, 16-13.
versified roles.
After nearly a year, 2 second-place finishes. NIP finally claimed the title. They are the
I think
champions.
so.
Gamescom 2014.
Then there was the fact that the game's
I can't
player
really think
base
of
had
talent
skyrocketed. Much of this had to do with the fact
Right
that
now.
in late 2013, CSGO was given what is perhaps its most significant feature, skins.
The skins update was a big change for the community, giving you something you can buy, something that you can customize your guns.
It's done where it doesn't necessarily impact gameplay, but it gives people this exciting element to keep coming back and keep playing to get more skins.
By late 2014, CSGO had surged in popularity, and it felt as if the game had already gotten bigger than anyone thought was possible. And then 2015 happened.
Kenny S stuck in the site, finding more. That's brilliant, and Kenny S again up close. Oh my goodness, Kenny S!
They aren't rushing this time around. They're taking their sweet time, hoping to catch somebody peek on Envy's side. And well, that's what happens when you go around the corner. Happy with Wandig. Oh, and another one! Oh, and a third! Happy! Debris is like
What the
sweating
fuck?
bullets. Happy's gonna get the quad kill in the ace.
I've seen this clip a million
When you go
times,
around
but
the corner.
his mouse doesn't move at all vertically at all. Does he just like let go of the mouse and press enter when he shoots?
Happy with Wandig. Oh, and another one! Oh, and a third! Happy!
Is he just
Debris is like sweating
so
bullets.
fucking
Happy's
good
gonna get
at
the
not
quad
moving the
kill
mouse
in the ace. What is
vertically
this?
at all?
P250 out, jumping and shooting. He gets one more kill. Looking
Because
for it. He's
even
got
the
100 down.
slightest
Time
touch
is up. Oh my god!
at that
Gerard,
distance
you gotta be kidding me!
can be the
Gets the
difference of
last
a
kill in.
headshot.
1 second left. They just need to 2
Oh,
kills
very
here,
low
and they will
sense.
win it for the second
Oh.
time. Pronax with 1. Freiburg. Oh my god! He's breezed and he gets both kills, and the grand final continues. 15-13. Last nanosecond kill, and look at the guns. 4 AWPs. Fnatic, they're ready to shoot some ducks as they cross the middle. It's going to be a challenge, and Apex not in this lifetime. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to require a miracle and nothing less for Happy to make it out. I don't think there's any chance. Flusher looking to end this. It's going to be a 3rd title for Fnatic. They win a 3rd major championship in global offensive.
Wow, what a way to finish it. The best team of the Counter-Strike Global Offensive history. I think that is pretty clear by this moment.
We saw Katowice shatter viewership records. We watched the indomitable reign of Kenny S. We cheered at Cologne, arguably the greatest major of all time. 2015 was the year that CSGO didn't just boom, it exploded.
Is he going to try and go huge here? Kenny S on site, straight in his face. Doesn't hit the no-scope. Doesn't hit the pistol. Oh, for the night! Kenny S, would you believe it? The balls on that man to go for that play.
But it also had its fair share of downs. For starters, there was the R8, an obscenely overpowered revolver that managed to single-handedly destroy the game in 3 days before it was nerfed.
It's like a nightmare. This is the antithesis, the anathema of everything that Counter-Strike is supposed to be in terms of its principles and its framework as a game. It's like Valve don't understand the actual core concept tenets, the core tenets, the concepts, the components that made CS a great game.
Then there was the infamous AWP nerf, which sent devotees of Counter-Strike's single most iconic weapon into nothing short of an existential crisis.
I was like, damn, why did they do that? That's so unfair for me, because I actually felt like that they did it for me. They did it because of me. That's not necessarily true, but...
And last, but certainly not least, the North American match fixing
the off is
scandal,
fine.
after which members of iBuyPower were famously issued indefinite bans.
But I thought you guys needed to know that actually, if I could have got us to a resolution where the guys just did a season ban from CEVO, all I wanted to do was highlight that match fixing was real, it was going on, people were effectively being defrauded from their skins in exchange for profits.
By 2016, it had become apparent that the game would have to overcome certain
So you're saying
obstacles
that I would have
if it
been as
hoped
good
to
as
keep
Kenny
growing
is
in the same way League
if the
or
AWP was
Dota
still as
were.
good.
For starters, it was an
That's what they're
esport in
telling
which
me.
counterterrorism was both gamified and glorified, something which potential investors didn't find very appealing.
Anything outside of esports won't go anywhere near French teams right now because of the climate there is in France. Everyone's interested by the stats that CS brings, but as soon as they hear terrorists against anti-terrorists, that's it. Not going anywhere near it.
Unlike League, Dota, and the recently released
That's,
Overwatch, CS wasn't
good point.
cartoonish and family-friendly. It was a milsim-driven bloodbath, one whose photorealistic guns and incessant gore made for difficult conversations and sales and marketing meetings.
I love the analogy
Imagine going
that I also try and bring up all the
Coca-Cola
time to
in the
UFC.
States
They have the same problem. How do they find sponsorships?
and trying to explain terrorists
Have an octagon in which people are
versus
quite literally bleeding on the
counter-terrorists.
company logos that are sponsoring them. You're only going to find
Doesn't sound like
that are
something.
in on that.
There was also the issue of cheating.
They
Following the
want a sponsor.
backban of French opera Cali in 2014 and suspicions around North American up-and-comer Sabrosa 2 years later, a hysteria started to develop around the idea that players could be cheating on LAN.
These allegations aren't coming from online games. These allegations are coming from LAN. In this instance, actually seems the community overwhelmingly believes that this guy is a cheat.
And let's not forget the fact that by 2016, skin gambling was reported to have become a billion-dollar industry. Things
The
came to a
biggest
head
cheating
when
occurring at
YouTubers T.
LAN
Martin and Pro
is the
Syndicate started
audience.
marketing a lottery site.
If there's a
that they
one-on-one
happened to
situation
own, a
and
fact
one guy
they
is
failed to
sneaking
disclose
behind
to
another
their
guy,
viewers.
And
the
we found
audience
this new
cheers so
site
loud and they don't
called
have enough
CSGO Lotto.
soundproofing
So
in their
link it down in
headset
the
on
description if
LAN.
you guys want to check it out. But we
It's
were betting on it
really
today,
fucking
and I
bad.
won a pot
They
of
should
like
all be playing
$69 or
in
something like
really
that. So it was a pretty
soundproof
small pot.
booths.
It resulted in an
At all
FTC
times. Sometimes they
investigation,
have it, but
23 cease
sometimes
and
they do not
desist
have it.
letters, and several class action lawsuits against Valve for condoning underage gambling. But the biggest obstacle facing CSGO was the fact that Valve, the very developer who'd brought Counter-Strike to the masses, didn't seem to care whether or not it succeeded.
Okay, is that how Counter-Strike works now? This guy's just gonna go like that and I'm dead? You literally see like his fucking shoulder patch and you just die from a pistol from that far away? God, Gaben, you suck so much penis at making video games. It fucking hurts me, bro. You're so rich. It's insane. How could you not fix this fucking game? Sorry, chat.
A lot of this had to do with the fact that since CSGO's launch in 2012, Valve had put nearly all of their eggs in the Dota basket. From a multi-million-dollar tournament to an engine overhaul to a never-ending sea of skins, feature implementations, gameplay updates, and seasonal events, Dota had everything an enthusiast could ask for. CSGO, on the other hand...
It's because people are starting to get over skins a little bit. And Counter-Strike's going back to where it was supposed to be. And that is, before the skins came out, the game was really not very far. Really not doing that well in a competitive standpoint. And just a mediocre competitive game.
But the community persevered. In fact, it was around this time that CS saw the rise of a new generation of competitors. Competitors who were young enough that they'd come up on Go. The result was an influx of players who'd grown impossibly attuned to the game's complex mechanics.
Double smokes in the same place there. Simple just jumping casually into the side. He's going to fall down again. What is this clutch from Simple? Are you serious? What is that? You can't do that, Simple. That's not allowed. This is not FPL. This is a major.
It was also around this time that CSGO started to solidify itself as a truly international esport. 2016 saw one of 1.6's single most dominating regions make a thunderous return to the world of Counter-Strike, Brazil.
Here he comes once again. The first base is Adren. He's going to hit the ground there as Cold. Oh, what? A jumping double from Cold. What is going on right now? How does he do this? Cold has saved Velocity with the all play.
Bad man.
Guardian versus Taco. It may just be destined to be. It is Luminosity winning their first major championship. Trying to walk through the smoke, but it's just not going to happen. SK Gaming, second major championship in a row. They are your winners.
What can you add to the game to make it more like fun to watch? Like even more fun?
And by 2017,
What kind of weapon or
more
grenade?
contenders than ever were entering the fray. From the long-awaited resurgence of the Danes,
Pasha coming in with a refrag, but he's down. The bomb has been picked up by
Yeah.
Dupree. They get the spray. Neo takes one, and Townsend there. And Astralis, they win the first major championship. 16-14 against Virtus Pro. Unbelievable.
to one of the greatest Cinderella stories in Counter-Strike history.
I just say, Olaf Meister, I love you. And second, God help me, and I
Helicopter
won measure.
2017 was the year that CSGO entered a new era of competitive play, one in which no single region could rightfully exert superiority over
remote
the
mines
others, and
that you
rosters
can-
were diversifying as a
What do you call
result.
them again?
All
When
in
you
one position, and Guardian makes it just nice trying to find the
remote
flash.
mines.
And Nico fittingly gets the last kill as FaZe dominate New York in
Claymores.
2017 in the
Yeah,
Barclays Center all
Claymores.
the way through this tournament. They've looked so good.
Still, it felt as if the game was continuously being bottlenecked and had plateaued. As if this adored esport was fated to play second fiddle to the newer,
Wouldn't that be cool?
flashier titles in terms of popularity,
Everyone hates it in
sustainability,
COD,
and
really?
acceptance, all because it had an absent and uncaring developer.
Valve just sitting up on high, and then every now and then, suddenly like 10 cows fall over dead, and we're all supposed to intuit what does that mean. Oh, are they angry with us? Oh, maybe it's because of what we said about the R8. Like, this is not a reasonable state of affairs for a game that's making hundreds of millions of dollars.
The future of CSGO didn't necessarily look grim, it just didn't look as bright as the community felt it
I
should
think
be.
Shields
With
would
TI's
be
prize pool
really
becoming
funny.
increasingly absurd and franchising
It's
being
frustrating
touted
at
as
a
the
pro
future
level,
of
but I
esports,
think it would be very
felt as if
funny
slowly but surely
watch
Counter-Strike
people do
was
shield
being
strats.
overshadowed. And then, in January of 2018, something momentous happened.
I'm just trying to, not from a
After
pro
this round, we're either
playing
going to
perspective,
overtime,
but from a watching
or we're
perspective,
crowning
like viewer
a new
perspective. What would
major
be fun to
champion.
see?
We're handing
What kind
away
of
a
strats?
trophy
What kind of
in this
items?
next round, potentially.
Something so historic that it brought the gaming world to its feet.
But Automatic's going towards A. Nothing else is going on. He's got to go back. Stewie's on his own. But look at the time. Look at the time. There's 7 seconds to got the bomb. They're trying to build pyramids, but there's no more play. Stewie's won the round. We're going to overtime.
Cloud9 have done it! How have they done that? They came back all the way! All the way!
In a year when $1 billion battle royale became the most played video game in creation, when franchising became a reality, when streaming Fortnite and Ninja somehow became synonymous with esports, a year in which OG Cinderella'd their way to the Aegis in the most miraculous way imaginable, and IG liberated League of Legends from the tyranny of South Korea. 5 North American misfits banded together in Boston, bruised, battered, and bled their way to the finals of a major, and put on the performance that shattered one of Twitch's most coveted viewership records.
In the corner with the AWP, do they realize this? I think he's been spotted now. He does have a smoke to play with. He can delay them. If he can occupy their attention long enough, his teammates can make the play. Just by staying there, he's a threat!
Oh my goodness! Skatoodle does it with automatic! My God!
Do you know what that noise means, that? It means it's match point Cloud9 again.
There, they reminded the world of something
me.
that it never should have forgotten in the first place. That no matter who they are, where they are, or whatever other games they might enjoy, whether they're nerds, normies, or something in between, people show up for Counter-Strike.
Automatic pushing through. It's Guardian versus 2.
Converging on Guardian box IP right now. For the fucking win, dude.
Send them home. Send them home. Send them home.
Oh my God!
Guardian waits patiently as Cloud9 sets the push up. Oh! Oh, it's happened! They made it work!
Kid won the major, bro!
That is the most insane way to win a major. This has to be one of the most incredible storylines we've ever had.
Counter-Strike isn't just a game. It's a way of life, a culture, a community, one of the oldest institutions in all of esports.
One of the biggest things about Counter-Strike, just how it's always been evolving, but yet the fundamentals of it haven't really changed at all. And it's the community involvement that I think has been so big to the growth of it over time.
It's a 20-year-old Half-Life mod with awful graphics, outdated mechanics, and a shitty sound engine. And yet, it remains the crown jewel of FPSs, the OG, the GOAT, the most serious, prestigious, enduring, and competitive shooter the world has ever seen. The medium for clicking heads against which all others are judged. And by 2019, it felt like people were starting to remember that.
Holding it now, and there is it. It's just down to Flamey. It's not going to happen. Astralis has won the face at London Major.
Like there'd been a call to action.
Back-to-back ECS, back-to-back Pro League, Marseille, Season 7, Chicago, and now for the first time ever at home, Season 8, Astralis are the champions of ESL Pro League, and for the first time
I really gotta learn terrorist smokes and molotovs
answering it like
on
never before.
that site.
20 seconds left.
So useful to retake. It's so hard to retake it without any molotovs because there's so many options that it can be.
As if anything were possible.
If it's RPK that's dropped, they could be in serious trouble. That should do it. There we go. It's Team Liquid, and that's what it means to them.
And Elias, how long can he survive? Looks like he gets a headshot on the way out, but he will burn, and a Vanguard will have themselves a grand final appearance here at the Berlin Major. Can you believe it? No one expected them to get there, but they have proved us all wrong.
Leaving a trend in a 1 versus 4, and ladies and gentlemen, they've done it for the 4th time. Astralis win the Major in Berlin.
I like this one.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content,
that was a good one. That was a good recommendation. Perkeldon stream says you sound Finnish. Secret hidden ancestry.
Welcome to Uganda.
No, I don't have any Finnish blood, and I don't sound Finnish. Finnish people talk like this.
Welcome to Uganda.
It is not very hard to do the Finnish accent. They have a very unique way of speaking. Torrelle. You can always hear, like, a Finnish accent is probably one of the easiest accents for me to hear, to know that they're Finnish. Out of all the accents, even more obvious than like Russian and other accents. It stands out so much. I'm not quite sure why. I think Finnish is a very, very difficult language, right? They have very, very precise pronunciation of their shit. So it just sticks. Shrieking Shroom, Eisenheim, Candy Lover.
Valve has horrible communication on CSGO when they keep TF2 up, and it HASNT had a major update in 2 years. OMEGALUL.
I'm like, they haven't had a major update in forever. I feel like they need to add something like talents or something that makes it more like, oh my god, did you see that sick build they fucking Cloud9 did yesterday? You know, like talent sounds wrong, but it has to, it can just be subtle talents. You know, it can be very subtle talents where I don't know, a flash grenade is like delayed 2 seconds before it goes off, you know, like
at Forsen
cool
feels
like
weird, man.
Whatever.
Imagine getting triggered by emotes. Pepe laugh. So fucking bald. At Forsen feels weird, man.
What? Imagine getting triggered by emotes. Yeah, I see that in chat every day. I see people being triggered over that every single day. 300 bits from Diablo Immortal developers says 2 new Rainbow Six Siege operators. One operator has an op that is one hit and pierces through multiple walls and enemies. Broken as fuck. Check YouTube. I believe you. I'm not gonna check YouTube, but that sounds like my kind of character. Like a glass cow with an actual fucking op. Damn. However, it's pretty much impossible for me to play Rainbow Six Siege on stream. I like the game, I do, but it's like stream sniping in that game is ridiculously harder to beat than in Counter-Strike. It's just because of all the walls you can shoot through and everything. All the fucking mines and traps and all that shit too. They can just not ignore it, you know. Alphiat, we
Go
see
Forsen.
Thank you.
Forsen is his real name. I can call him that because the high-end Twitch community is pretty close, and me being on a first-name basis with top role players in this case, Forsen is no big deal to me. Maybe it's for you, but please chill.
Right. Grosero, we had this discussion in Spain too about the busting. We hear it quite loudly. You don't because of deafness. No, it got fixed. It was just a setting on the microphone, and the reason why it bust because I had the wrong audio put in. I fucked up my microphone when I tried to change the position. It's fine now. XD Stream says short video about video game history. I'm sorry, man. No more links. Thank you though. No more links. Trying to cut back. Feels good when Donald says, hey, Forsen, how would you watch this Seth video? Also, no. Oh, this is Underrail. We can watch this tomorrow. We can watch this tomorrow. Underrail is Underrail. Underrail? Wait, Underrail? Is that what the game is called? Were you that we played? The co-op game? Is it called Underrail? I think so. I saw it already. I don't think I saw it. No. Wrong game. What is the game called when you were one guy chop wood and one guy chop stone? Unrailed. Oh, okay. Never mind. I don't know what Unrailed.
Welcome to Uganda.
Alright. Well, before my triple espresso completely wears out, let's quickly rank up, and then we'll play the party game. Head snatchers. I don't know what the fuck it's called. Head snatchers.